Hi, Val.
Hi, Lynn.
Hi, Val. The minute we record, we hear your son in the background. Was that him?
Yeah, Micah, shut down. Let me
How
find
sweet.
you.
How cute. Hi, Val. How are you doing?
I'm great, Lynn. How are you?
Oh, I love seeing your face. You guys, look at how cute she is. Look at
I
her
love
face, and you're always so
you.
smiley. I need to be a Mormon. To be this happy.
Ah,
I need to marry a Mormon.
you need to marry a Mormon, Lynn. You'll just financially be taken care of and
Yep.
you'll smile. Yeah.
Not just any Mormon, a young one.
A young
A
Mormon.
young
You want
Mormon.
to bring that up every time you talk to me. Your husband's so young.
He is. Her husband is younger than she is. There you go. But you know what? Okay, so Val is a mom and a wife, and she produces the electric comedy show in Utah, which
Yeah.
is one of the smartest things I've seen anyone do. I was like, this bitch is so smart. Did she just go out to Utah and claim her own
Lynn,
comedy show?
I put time in the trade. Okay, I was raised in Utah 17
That's
years.
true.
So
But I
I went
mean,
back to Utah and yeah, I did. Did the
but you're
dang
smart
thing.
enough to know that, though. You're smart enough to be like, hey, listen, I can just produce a show out here. There's not a lot. It's not like in LA where there's every day there's like 50 shows you can choose from.
I love that. Yeah, that is really fun. You know what I'm loving too, Lynn?
What?
I am loving this Zoom shit. Like popping to 5 shows. It's just
Yeah, seriously.
what you got going on.
Especially as a mom, I can't
Yeah,
go from mic to mic to mic.
I can't.
But then now on Zoom, I can just go from mic to mic to mic,
Yeah.
because, it works to my advantage. I mean, I don't want to say that too much because some people are having a really hard time in COVID, and I don't want to be like, oh, but I'm having a great time.
Look, if you're still having a hard time in COVID, then you're not going to evolve.
You're not adapting.
You're not adapting right. I'm
Because even
sorry.
even Val has adapted, because in the beginning she's like, I can't do these Zoom shows, Lynn. I can't wait 1 minute for people to let me in.
Oh, that really still bugs me, dude. I got kicked out of a mic because I wasn't stable either. I was like, oh. We're
Hi,
recording the show. Can
Micah.
you say hi, Lynn Sun TV? He just hit me. Lynn, being a parent is abusive.
God, I know. Listen, we have boys too. Okay, but so let is
Boys?
how cute is he? Hi, sweetheart.
Did you have boys? Yeah, she has a boy.
Yeah, I have a
Ethan.
son your age.
Does he have Nerf gun?
Nerf gum.
Yeah.
I doubt it. He doesn't have any of the cool stuff.
Yeah, babe. You have voucher yet?
He has whatever people give him because I don't buy him anything.
Smart. That's how it's done. You just don't buy them anything, and everybody else spoils them. Ouch. Buys your kids things like robots when they're not ready for them.
Yeah, yeah. But I want him to have things that I don't have to participate in.
Oh. Yeah.
Like
Legos.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No batteries required. I don't have to do anything.
I love it, Lynn. Yeah, Beyblades, you don't want them, no.
So wait, but I want to start with you letting the audience know how you began your journey with electric comedy. Even
Oh,
I don't
thank
know that
you.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, so I travel to Utah often to visit my family.
Mm-hmm.
And about 3 to 6 months into stand up, I was going back home just wanting a place to flex my muscles and continue performing. And
Uh-huh.
there was nothing, absolutely nothing. Like Dry Bar had done a show at the Electric Theater months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and there was an open mic at the sandwich shop that was no more. So I thought, dang, like I want to do something. And if I'm going to do something,
Yeah.
then I want to do a show
Mm-hmm.
because a show is more official than a mic.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did my first show. I actually drove past the Electric Theater. I slammed on the brakes because I do location scouting, and I looked
Yeah.
up and was like, "What is this venue?" It was so beautiful. It had
Mm-hmm.
the primary colors and neon signs and said the Electric Theater
Right.
Amusement Co. And it was owned by the city. They were
Mm-hmm.
renting it for such a great price. I was like, done deal. I'm having my show here. So I
Nice.
set the date and I booked my favorite comedians at the time, and you still are one of them.
I did. Oh man, it was such an honor to do your first show ever at
That was
Electric Theater.
awesome. You killed it through food poisoning and all.
At all of it, I had food poisoning. Who cares? I was too excited, you know. And Val is one of the producers who really takes care of her comics. You really do. Like
Yeah,
when we, you know, she takes care of us with the travel and the Airbnb and the food and the gas and whatever else. But you really take care of us, and I appreciate that.
that
You
was a
know,
nice Airbnb, huh?
huh?
That was a nice Airbnb,
It
huh?
was really nice. Although I was throwing up in the bathroom most of the night.
Sorry about that,
It's
lady. No,
not
I
your
had
fault.
nothing to do with the
It's
food.
it's such a great story though. It is such a great story. That's what memories are made of. Okay, so that's how you did electric comedy. So then was it your vision to keep going because it's been a year now? So did you know it was gonna be a big thing, or did you just do it for fun to start?
I honestly just wanted to do one show, one and done, because I like the location. Yeah, and I just wanted to finish and do that. But I go to Utah so often
Yeah.
that it just made sense to keep doing shows every
Hmm.
time I went there. So I got in this habit of just producing a show while I was up there,
Hmm.
and kind of just been doing it ever since.
Do you get a lot of regulars?
Yeah, we have awesome regulars. Like there's at least 5 different clusters of people who bring their friends or their whole family, and
Hmm.
that fills up a good portion of the crowd. So
Hmm.
we have those people, but for the most part, we're bringing in a fresh audience.
Nice. So, okay, then what is your tip for newer comics? Because when you started producing, you were new. You were a new comedian. It
Yeah,
wasn't like you've been doing it 5, 10 years.
I've been doing it for 6 months.
Yeah. So, what is your advice for newer comics who want to produce their own show? Like, what is your okay? That's a compound question, but first, what is your advice? And then, second, what do you think is the difference between just producing any mediocre show and doing like a 200-seat theater show?
What is your advice? I,
Did you smoke?
I tried this new technique where I melted this chocolate in a quesadilla, melted a little more than they probably should have. But
Oh,
it
you
was a
crack me up.
compound question.
It was. It was. Okay,
What is
first,
that?
what is your advice for new comics, brand new like you, who want to produce a show? Do
Have,
you
yeah,
suggest it?
honestly, if you have a passion for it, you really should, because
Mm,
it takes a special kind of person. I feel like it allows you to give more than you take from the comedy scene. Like it's um it's a community.
yeah.
It's depends on your approach, but it's definitely its own world. And I
Hmm.
approach comedy like I'd approach any city, like living in Los Angeles or living in New York. It's like you gotta be able to give a little more than you take from something.
Hmm.
And when you produce a show, come on, man, why you gotta do me like that? Why you gotta embarrass me in front of people? You actually have to unplug it and plug it back in. Multitasking. So producing became very natural. Being a mom, being a
Yeah.
wife, it's just like I can mother a show. I could at least produce something
Ah.
that gives people an opportunity to showcase. And like when Lynn, you probably know this. Like when you produce a show, it's not your best as a stand-up comedian,
Oh, right. Yeah.
but it's a really, really good show. So
Yeah.
you have for me, I have the opportunity to control
Yeah.
that aspect, because I like honestly it was hard to just go inside of a club. Everybody buys a ticket, everybody buys a 2 item minimum, and then they tip and then they pay for parking. I will do that at the Comedy Store,
Yeah.
absolutely. Laugh Factory, the Improv, absolutely. But anything outside of that, like, it's got to really be worth it to ask people to go to it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
For sure.
And I really wanted to provide a value in a show. And I think for new people, you got to provide a value, a unique experience,
Mm-hmm.
a cool location. Like I went to a show in an airplane hangar. That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
These mics on the beach, like that's really freaking cool.
Mm-hmm.
If you're providing people with a cool place to go to and a reason to get out, then
Mm-hmm.
you might as well go for the gold and make a show out of it. You know what I mean?
Do you think that it's more, so what if a show has great ambiance, cool location, and all that stuff you're talking about, and their comics are like mediocre? Or do you prefer like killer comics and then a mediocre venue? What do you think is better?
The venue, first and foremost, because it's easy to do, has to be something people drive up to and feel like, wow,
Mm,
I'm here. Or like, ooh,
right.
what's this about?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got to feel that in the place. Alcohol helps.
Oh yeah.
Even though I'm supposed to be righteous, the other thing, someone's got to kill that night, and that better be your headliner. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So when you've been to my shows, some people kill, some people don't. That's just the name of the game in comedy. But
Yeah.
someone, at least a couple people, better be doing it 100%.
Yeah. I always think the last two people have to do really well.
Yeah, yeah,
Like the host and then the last two people. And some, maybe someone in the middle if you have enough to put that, to add someone in the middle who kills. But okay, so what do you think? I think you kind of answered this already. The difference between producing a really, really good kick ass show. Oh, you know what? This is what I wanted to say. You said that when you produce a show, you're not doing your best stand-up material or whatever. You're not doing your best as a stand-up. But I think it's because of who you are as a producer, you, Val. Because some people, they produce a show for them. They produce a show so they can shine, so they can look good, so they can be the headliner, so all this stuff. But when we produce a show, we're just so focused on making the comedians the star,
yeah.
right? That we forget, like, oh shit, I could be the star too. And then we end up behind the scenes. But that's what makes you a good producer.
Thank
That's the
you,
difference.
Lynn. I am working on delegating tasks because one of these shows I want to shine like a star, you know, like your motto, you are your own big break. And
Yeah.
yeah, you know, if I spent less time getting high and more time treating myself like a star, which sometimes that's a part of my star treatment, but
Yeah. Always delegate. I'm so big on that.
yeah,
Because you know
gotta
what? There's so many
delegate.
people who want to help and so many people who want to just be in the scene. Like they get to go to a free comedy show
Yeah,
and all they have to do is check people in, like
yeah.
easy, or work the bar or whatever.
Yeah, I do have some pretty amazing people who will fill in those positions. I'm looking for somebody who could
Hmm.
be like you, Lynn, just some gangster OG, just like
Get it done.
overseeing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, because there's a couple elements when it comes to producing a
Yeah.
quality, efficient show. And
Hmm.
there's, just good flow with these new COVID guidelines, making sure everyone's social distance, seated per
Yeah.
family, wearing a mask, checking in the people 6 feet apart.
Hmm.
Making sure the comedians meet backstage, making sure the camera's operating, making sure someone's on that Instagram live, making sure, everybody, the live stream's running properly. All that.
Have you produced a show in LA besides I remember you doing one,
We've
but have
done
you
a
produced any other one?
we've done a couple in the gallery while that was
Right.
open. Um,
Is it more challenging to get an audience in LA than it is in Utah?
absolutely, because it's
Hmm.
just economic supply and demand, where the supply is aplenty in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Like you said, you could go to 2 dozen shows any given night, 2 dozen mics any given night, and in Utah, there's absolutely nothing going on. So I'm able to sell more seats at a show in Utah than I am Los Angeles
Mm.
because there's more people who want to get out and go. And the cool thing about electric comedy night is like they get dressed up. Like that's the thing they
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what amazes me about the Utah show? And this is, and I say this, I don't always know how to say things and word it correctly, but I'm just going to say it.
Okay.
So in Utah, so let's say for the Electric Theater, when we did a show, let's say your ticket's like 25 a ticket, right?
Yeah.
Give or take. Okay. So let's say 25, they show up. There's no alcohol because we're in St. George, Utah, and there's no alcohol allowed in the Electric Theater. They go into the theater, they watch the show, they love it. They hang out afterwards, whatever, and they go home, and then it's great. In LA, if
Yeah.
you charge LA $25, they're gonna probably either gonna complain or they're gonna be like, oh, I have to also pay for parking, and I have to also buy 2 drinks, and I have to also, you know what I mean? So it's a
Depends
different
who
what
and where, right? Because I'm
huh,
not trying to do that for a pooty show, but if it's one of those comedy store lineups where I'm seeing all the people, and I'll pay that.
and that too, like in LA, if you pay 25, then
Right.
you better be getting, you know what I'm saying? So
You
that's
got
why
that right in LA. You got that
mhm,
absolutely right. If I'm paying $25, is Chris D'Elia before the accusation's gonna be on this lineup?
right, because they're like, because I
Yeah.
can be, they're like, because I could pay $5 or go to a free show or whatever it is. Can you hear that siren in the background?
Yeah, what's going on there? Protests? What's going on in your hood?
Ugh, I live near the freeway. But okay, yeah, so that's the difference between Utah and LA, and I appreciate Utah for that matter, where they're enjoying themselves. They're coming out, they're paying
It's
whatever it
very
is. They're just
cool.
like, plus Utah people probably have more money. So
Yeah, they have less expenses, they have less taxes, they
yeah,
have
yeah.
birds out their window, they live good lives. Not a
Yeah.
lot of there's not a nightlife in Utah, that's what it is.
They're so cool. And then
They're so
also
cool.
I remember also with Val as a producer, um, because I have jokes that are not clean, but they're kind of dancing on the edge, right? Like about hand jobs and stuff like that. And Val,
Yeah.
I was like, and she her first show, she said it's a clean show. And we were like, okay, clean. And then we I mean, you can say one asshole in the whole set or whatever, you can say like one, but don't cuss, whatever. So she takes, we're in the back, in the behind the scenes, and I said, she took me by the hand and she goes, Lynn, I know it's a clean show, but I want you to trust yourself. I want you to trust yourself and just say, if just roll with it. And I was so thankful because when you said that, I was more, I was like, okay, well, I'll just do one hand job joke to see if they like it. And then they did. So I was like, Utah,
Loved
you're
it.
not that innocent. Come on.
They love that.
They loved it. They're
Yeah. And we
but
realized that night that people come to comedy shows because they kind of want to tiptoe that edge and that,
yeah.
maybe not everybody loved it, but we were surprised by the reaction.
Yeah. Yeah, most of the
That
people,
was,
and people go to comedy shows to for their alter egos, to like hear say the things they don't normally say and
yeah, that's
whatever,
true.
they can get all the conservativeness and stuff at home. But no, I really do admire you as a producer though. You really do a good job. I'm just like, damn, she kicks ass.
I
That's why
love
you're on this
it.
show, you know.
Yeah,
So
Lynn
you
Sancho.
so you want to continue to do this for as long as possible, or what is the goal? What is the
Can I
dream?
tell you what my master plan is?
Yes, of
Okay,
course.
first of all, can I just get a picture of us for the record when we're older and we can look back on this moment and just
When we're older, bitch, I'm already old. She's
yeah,
because Val's like in her 30s, early
yeah.
30s. She's
I'm 31. Gonna be
so
30.
young.
When's your birthday?
December 31st.
Wow, we are celebrating the new year with baby Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
Baby Lynn.
December 31st. I'm gonna be 41.
Hey, oh my gosh, Lynn,
But
happy
okay,
birthday.
so tell us your master plan before you forget.
I was gonna forget. So um Kaiser Ewan,
Yeah.
not Ewan like I would normally pronounce it. Did you catch the last live stream of Electric Comedy Night?
Mm-mm.
Well, you might have noticed prior to the previous ones that were absolute booty, this last one streamed and it looked really
Oh,
good.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're still, working out the audio and stuff, but we're realizing electric comedy has a lot of capital, a lot of scalability going digital, and really taking the opportunity of a live show and perpetuating the content to be timeless, to share these jokes just like any other person. Like, I love Laugh Factory. I love Comedy Central. I love Dry Bar, but that's not enough. Like, I need more comedy in my life and I need more clips. So I
Mhm.
want to take this opportunity that we are producing at the Electric Theater and really put these comedians on. And if they're okay with it, really share their clips out there and really try to grow like those other brands and provide more comedy to the world like that. So
From your live shows?
yeah.
Cool.
So I'm teaming up with Kaiser, and we are getting the digital platform live.
Mm,
And uh,
cool.
yeah, to be honest, I want to scale this into a $50 million company.
Good
I
job. Good job.
Yeah, I do. And however that could be fair to everybody, I just really want to provide more content and make more people laugh and just give everybody the opportunity to boss up on this platform.
Aw. Are you looking to expand the show, do more than one show? Or are you just doing electric comedy? Like, do you want to, have sub locations?
Well, we're even thinking about content. Like, did you ever watch the show I Love the 80s or I Love the
Mm-mm.
90s? It
No.
was basically funny people commenting on these crazy pop culture phenomenons or just these like signature historical events of our generation. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to do something like that, but just with different trends or new releases of music and just get everyone's real, honest feedback. And it'd be so awesome. Just starting out, obviously, for the love of it until these platforms really grow, because that's
Mm-hmm.
the goal, but just to get things that comment on what's going on today and just have a fun way of looking at it, you know?
Okay.
Whether it's new music, whether it's current events, or whether it's, stand up bits live from the Electric Theater.
Mm.
Just really get those digital platforms in place.
Oh, cool. So you think the digital is going to be for a while? We're going to be in this digital world for a
Yeah,
while.
absolutely.
what do you
Absolutely.
what do you look for when people submit to you to do the show?
I want people talking about hard things and making them really funny. You know,
What do you mean by hard things?
anything like, your bit is
Mhm.
hard. You had a 2 night stand and got a
Oh,
baby.
that's funny.
Exactly. And you can take something so hard and make it funny. Like, that's the kind
Mm,
of stuff I look for.
okay.
That that's comedy to me,
Mm.
like comedy is not, oh, I slipped on the banana and fell.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Uh-huh.
know, it's like some real shiz. I'm like,
Okay.
life will go on and I can laugh about this hard thing.
Okay. So when people submit to you, you actually watch the videos.
Oh yeah.
Now, how long into the video do you give them until you're like, nah, this is not right for the brand?
I used to spend so much time giving everybody the benefit of the doubt. And one day my husband told me, same with music too, because I was stuck consuming the same music. I was just listening to the same jams from like the 90s or the 2000s. And I
Yeah.
was like, you need to listen to some new music. And I was like, I just can't find music I like as much as I like this music.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he's like, you know it. You know
Yeah.
it in the first seconds of the song.
Mm.
You just know it. And I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. So Spotify, I'll open, like, what is this, Jingle Bells, Micah? Stop. You don't have to be playing that right now. If you're good, I'll give you a popsicle after, okay?
Ooh, popsicle. Yum. I'd
Got
be
the
quiet
good,
for a popsicle.
I got those outshine popsicles. Yeah, Lynn, I'd be quiet too.
Okay. But okay, so now you watch, do you give them 1 minute, 2 minute into the clip?
Oh man, so there's this girl. Okay, it's a couple things from me, and it's do you even like electric comedy? Because this isn't just a little check
Right.
off your
Oh,
comedy.
yeah.
Like, do you freaking like us? Literally, like I know that's trifling ass shit, but do you like us on Instagram? Do you like us on Facebook? Did you go the extra mile and like our
That's
YouTube?
fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it shows a little initiative. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
then if you write something decent, it doesn't even have to be more than a sentence, more than a paragraph, but just who you are, how you heard about us, what you have to offer with your tape, any noteworthy credits,
Mm-hmm.
any Comedy Central, Dry Bar, or a link to your video. And it's that. If you got that package, if you already have your headshot, if you took the time to send your bio, like you did all the work. Now, if you're funny, then boom, it's a done deal. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
that simple. You just have to make it easy for people to promote you and like, oh, this dude's been on Comedy Central. That's an easy sell for Utah.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's the other thing about Utah and LA. It's like everyone's been on Comedy Central or HBO or
Yeah.
but all I have to say is like they performed at the Comedy Store. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that humble? That
Yeah.
people would say, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good job. You can get yourself a
Mike
popsicle.
is hilarious. But okay, so when you watch their video, I keep asking the same question. I don't know if you
Okay,
answered it
sorry.
and I just didn't listen. But
No.
how long do you give them until you're like, this is not for me? Do you give
You
them a minute?
No, Lynn, it just depends. I'll
Oh,
give
okay.
them a minute. I will give them the whole entire time. If I'm really enjoying it, I'll watch the whole entire thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That takes a skilled comedian to know how to hook you right off the bat.
Yeah.
Then hold on. I'm so sorry. I have to get him a popsicle real
Okay.
quick.
All right, you get him a popsicle.
Okay, I'll be right back, Lynn. Right back.
Can we? Val is going to get her son a popsicle because 4-year-olds don't know how to be quiet when we want them to be quiet. They're never
And
quiet when you want them to be quiet. Never.
That will keep him quiet for 1 minute. So let's go.
I always give my son my cell phone. I'm like, here, take it. Take it for an hour.
This is the terrible thing. He has a cell phone.
Oh,
And
yeah, okay.
like,
So it's not anything special, right? It's not. But the popsicle, he'll be quiet for a little bit.
yeah.
So when
How long?
someone submits to your show, you want them to have said they like your stuff. They like electric comedy. They follow you. They watch the stuff on Instagram and YouTube. You want them to tell you.
How'd you hear about us? What's your
Yeah.
connection?
Like that's what I've been telling people too. Like when they're like, "Oh, this show's not booking me," and I was like, "Have you even watched their show?" Like you can't just mass submit and just be like, I'm just a comic who wants to be on any show, because
You gotta
producers want to feel special.
Yeah, a little
You want to
bit.
feel special. Come on. Okay. So then
Yeah.
write what you're about. It doesn't have to be a long drawn out 3-page thing, but write what you're about, and you want them to give you the credits if they have any, and then link the killer set. Don't link the set that's like, oh, here's a so-so set, link the killer set. And do you want them to, how long of a set should they link you?
Well, what is your best time? What do you want to get booked as? Because it's hard to bring just a 5-10 minute act out to electric comedy night now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Last year I would have done it. This year it is, you bring that tight 10, 15, 20, 25, 45. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you want to get booked as a headliner, send me your best 45 minutes. Do you have an hour special? I'd love to watch that. If you have, whatever your 15 to 25 minute set is, I want to see that.
Would you ever take a risk on a headliner that you think is killer but has never headlined?
Oh, totally. In fact, that is something in my vision for the future, because I would love electric comedy to be the stage that we could film our specials. And if that person shows promise, then we would love to make it that experience, not just for our guests, but for our comedians too, that their name is on that marquee, that we could get that camera set up, because my husband does film for Complex Magazine. He's a pro. So what comes with, besides that booty ass video I sent him, that's me running around doing 50 million things at once.
I was fine with it. I knew, but you know what? I know Val so well that I was like, she's probably hesitant to send me the video because the quality is probably not good.
Now, I promise you, I didn't hesitate for that. I was actually busy, but then when I saw it, I was like, "Ooh, this does not look good."
Yeah, but I know your quality of work. Like, I know how you like your stuff to be, So then I was like, oh, that's when I thought you were hesitant. But I mean, listen, I upped the volume. I edited it down. I just sent in a clip to Boston Comedy Festival, so I was able to use it.
Did you hear back from them yet, Lynn?
No, they haven't picked the people yet. They haven't picked the
Better
comics.
keep me posted.
But okay, so that's what I wanted to ask you, because people don't know how to submit to shows for some reason. Like a lot of times there'll be DMs in Instagram like, hey, want to do a show? Or hey, looking for stage time. No, you can't do that.
Oh, bro, like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that.
I understand, Lynn, because if people just send a friend request, I'm like, okay, but what more? Like, I'm sorry, but I want more out of you.
Yeah. Like, especially if you're not in Utah and you want to do the road, or you want to do a show where there's 200 seats or whatever, or more, you got to put more effort. You can't just be like, hey, what's up? Or they think that just like someone referring them is enough. That's no. Like, someone can be like, Val referred me, right? And I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. But if your stuff is still not great, I'm not going to book you just because Val referred you.
You gotta come correct.
Yeah.
Something referred you with what? Have you been on Dry Bar? Have you been on Comedy Central? Have you been on HBO? You know,
Yeah.
that's the kind of level of a headliner that we're booking. So
Yeah.
we definitely want somebody who's got something to show for themselves. That's
Mhm.
easy to say because Utah's awesome. They're still humble, you know.
Yeah.
They're not like, oh, we want Chris Rock or we want Dave Chappelle. It's oh, what kind of comedy or who is it? All you have to say is like, oh, you know, that's Vargas Mason. He's been on Comedy Central.
Oh,
You know what I
they
mean?
love diversity too.
I told you, 90 freaking people stayed after the show just to shake Vargas's hand. They loved him.
Oh, it's kind of like they were all bombarding Willie.
Oh my gosh.
Willie.
When are you going to bring Willie Mack back?
I know. He's got that charm though.
They love
Willie's
it.
got that. Yeah.
79-year-old Aunt Marie was like, when's Willie Mack coming back?
I'm gonna say this on this podcast because I already said it to Anthony himself, but Anthony Davis was out there, remember? And then whoever took the pictures did a promo on their Instagram, and it just had a picture of me, Willie, and Danny, and anybody who's not white. So Anthony was like, "Ouch!" Right? Like for fun, and I was like, "Dude, they're tired of looking at white people. They don't need to see you."
Oh, Anthony.
It's like this is their chance for diversity. Let them have it. You don't need it. You've been recognized your whole life.
Genesis, she slipped in there. She
Yeah.
was white, but she isn't. So,
She's mixed. She's mixed. Yeah.
oh, that's awesome.
So how do you balance producing and being a comedian? Like, has it taken a toll on you as a stand-up?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm like, okay, I gotta delegate because I have been able to write, but I have a process, and that
Mhm.
process is really being able to write and just meditate and like spend that dedicated time with the material, editing it, recording it, hearing how it sounds, watching it, doing the open mics and stuff. Like COVID did kind of throw me off because
Mm.
like a live mic and a Zoom mic are definitely two different things,
Yeah.
but I just kind of jumped on the horse this last week and I've been doing some Zoom mics because I realized like this last show, an even case. So I brought you back in September
Mhm.
and I was producing. I had so much on my plate, but I was willing to give anybody who walked through that door the hosting position.
Oh yeah. I looked at Val and I was like, Val, do you even want to perform? Like you looked
No,
like.
and I didn't. And I had this whole bit planned, but I couldn't. You know, I like to at least look at myself in the mirror and do it. You know what I mean? I didn't even get the chance to do that. And I
Yeah.
just, because when you produce, I think number one is making sure that the house is full and
Yeah.
the tickets sell and that experience just down pat, that needs to be there. So you need to know there's going to be an audience that you're performing there. And once
Right.
that's aligned, then you can, you know, breathe a little easier, but you still have to come up with all the flyers for the comedians, post
Yeah.
it, make sure you're selling as many tickets as you possibly can sell, coordinate the logistics of the comedians and
Yeah.
backstage stuff, day of show stuff. So all that stuff, it really, for me personally, like I started to produce these shows so I could be in them, but it's just easier to take a back seat, you
Yeah.
know, and just let other people shine. So I'm going to, for my birthday,
Mhm.
I'm taking the time to actually work some shiz out. So I'm going to get a nice tape out of that. But
Yay.
this is actually kind of my goal too. I'm actually going to put in 1,000% for this birthday show, November 28th at the Electric Theater.
Mm.
I'm going to get a really nice tape out of that. And then I'm just going to produce the HELL out of 2021 because you know what I mean? Like, I guess I could, you know, but I am actually something in me, some kind of block. Like, I don't think I could be the brightest star in Electric Comedy Night when
Mm.
I'm producing the show. Because I'm
Yeah.
just thinking of too many other things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Would you ever just hire, once you get to a certain point, would you ever just hire someone to produce it for you, or you rather produce?
I would absolutely love that. I would love to
Mm.
be able to hire somebody and have it justify their time and their effort and their energy.
Right. Okay. But
Definitely.
so it does take it, because so producing does kind of take a toll a little bit. The producing the way you do it, a little bit from your stand up. But you're
Yeah,
jumping back. How and you did 40 minutes once, didn't you? Did you headline a show?
I
How did
did.
that go?
That was freaking awesome. And that was more time than even I thought I could do. So it was a real proving point for me like, damn, you can do this. And
Hmm.
there is a pace, there is a tempo. It's not like, I was doing 3 to 5 minutes, 10
Yeah.
minutes at most here. And like being able to really accentuate all that, so whatever that word is, but
Yeah.
really being able to stretch that muscle and know that you can go there was really awesome.
That's cool. Did you bring up notes or you just went up there on memory?
I wanted to bring up notes and I definitely forgot things, but it was pitch black. It was freaking Big Cottonwood Comedy in
Yeah.
Cottonwood Canyon at Storm Mountain Amphitheater.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's no point because you couldn't even see them.
You
So
can't see it. You're like, oh, whatever. But that's good. But it challenged you to just do it off of your memory, off of your brain memory, your brain.
it was, yeah. And there was definitely stronger points, there was weaker points, but it was a real testament. Like,
Mm.
okay, now you know, like you could do that, and here's how you could do it better.
Did you record it?
I audio recorded it.
Wow. I hate listening to myself.
I do
It's
too.
terrible. Uh-huh.
But you have to because that's what makes you realize, like, okay, that's how you really sharpen up a set.
Hmm. For
Yeah.
real. And
Like,
then, so tell us about your book.
my book.
Her book is titled Bitch Needs Jesus. I love that title. It's a great title.
I appreciate you saying it so I didn't have to because I don't hear it.
It's a great title. So tell us about it. Tell us everything. Would your parents commented on it?
Oh gosh, thank you, Lim. I appreciate it. So yeah, the title is Need Jesus. I know,
Uh-huh.
so terrible. I like why do you put that? But yeah, it's my life story. And if you
Yeah.
ever tell a book about your life story, you should probably tell your family.
You didn't tell them at all?
I told them, and even my mom helped me write the whole entire first chapter. It's like birth to now, the most important lesson life learned. If I was going to read a book as a teenager, this is the book I would want. All
Oh,
those
interesting.
taboo things that people tell you shouldn't do or what. Like, well, here's somebody who actually did it, and you know what? It didn't turn out so great. So you might want to listen to something. But other things, honestly, it's all about life, really trying, really making mistakes, and really going after what you want to,
Mm.
even those mistakes, because there's always a lesson to be learned.
Yeah.
And it talks a lot about the family and how you grow up in a home and you really learn a lot from your family relationships.
Oh,
You
yes.
also replicate those relationships in your everyday life in the world.
Yeah.
And you can go insane doing that, just wondering like, why is my life this way? And why,
Yeah.
just a bunch of douchebag boyfriends and stuff like
Oh
that.
my God, yes. Until you marry a Mormon who's younger than you, then you're all set. Then you're good.
And you're good.
I'm never gonna stop. I can't stop with those Mormon jokes. But
It all begins, that's where it begins again, Lynn. I like
but okay, but I saw on your Instagram that your mom, what did she message you? Can you tell us?
Oh yeah, what did she say? Your book's not cool.
Yeah.
Dad's really mad.
Yeah. It's not cool that you said all this stuff about our family. I was
Yeah,
like,
like
oops. Well.
oops is exactly what I said. So I walk into the house like everything's fine. My dad comes out, he's screaming. He
Oh
is so
shit.
so mad. He hasn't been that mad since I crashed his car. All right. Age of
Wow.
15. But yeah, he was furious and
Oh
he's like,
shit. I'm
how
laughing like
dare you?
oh my
And
God.
I was like, if I was that makes you a bitch, dad. He was
Yeah.
like, I was like, Dad, I didn't expect you like that. We have worked so hard on this relationship. I just can't ruin it over a book. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
yeah. So wait, but they read it. That's a plus.
Yeah, I was like, how much of the book did you read? He's like,
I know.
"Everything." I'm like, all right.
He's like, I'm pissed off, but I'm proud at the same time.
When I told him it's Amazon freaking Kindle, the reality of the situation is 2 people are going to read the book, and you're one of them.
No, but that's awesome. And then I remember you showed us that your sister text you, Dad's really pissed.
Oh. The
That's
saga
so
continues.
funny.
Lynn, if you haven't noticed, I kind of laid off promoting it just to heal the rift in my family, but it was
So
kind of
funny.
contentious. My dad was like, Dad, is there anything you want me to edit out of this book? He's like, you can edit your ass out this family.
That's funny. That should be in your shit. That should be in your stand up. That's funny. That's a funny joke.
Noted. Okay. Oh man.
Oh shit. But dude, you're doing it though. See, this is what I mean. Like you don't give a damn. You just listen, I'm watching you going, this bitch does not care
Mhm.
who says what or who's doing what. Like you just go and you do what you want to do. And it's like, and it might be because you found your footing in Utah also. And in Utah, you're like the star there. So, you don't have all these other comics and stuff like that happening like we do in LA.
Yeah.
So you just go out there and she's also teaching classes out there in Utah. Did they do a grad show at the Electric
Oh
Theater?
my gosh, my grads freaking killed it, Lim.
Yeah.
We're gonna upload clips to Electric Comedy Night on YouTube.
Yeah.
They freaking killed it.
Aw.
But here's the thing, I'm not gonna do that class anymore because if I want to be a good stand-up, I need to focus a little more energy on myself. Not to be
Yeah.
selfish or anything, but I just, the class has to go. I need to hire somebody to be an OG producer
Yeah.
and really make sure that the operation, the quality, the consistency, the jokes, the comedians, like everybody feels good about the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always tell people if you can afford to pay somebody, you got to pay somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And we're
if you
selling
can't,
tickets.
and if you look hard enough, you'll find people who are really, really good and will do it for less money because they're young or because they just need to feed their kids or whatever it is. You know what I mean? You'll
Yeah.
find someone if you look hard enough and if you're willing to pay. But that's always what I tell people. Even with kids and birthday parties and shit, if you can hire someone to plan it, hire someone to plan it because
Smart.
you can take your time to do other things that you love to do. But you know what? You have a natural talent for producing and teaching and all this stuff. And that's why people like flock to you for it. You
Thank
know?
you, Lynn. That is very sweet of you to say.
Yeah. Well, it's happening. It's flowing for you so nicely. You're not, it's like effortless. Like these things are just happening for you effortlessly because you're on the right path, I feel like. Don't you feel like that?
Lynn, it's marrying that young Mormon, I gotta tell you.
No, but it is. But seriously, don't you feel like it?
Yeah, I feel like God is so good, Lynn. Like, I feel like the more praise I give to God, there was a time in my life I questioned,
Yeah.
but now that I'm just like, you know what do I have to lose by believing? God, thank you for this life. Thank you for my opportunities. Thank you for blessing me to meet these comedians who even want to come to Electric Comedy Night. Thank you for these people
Yeah.
who even want to spend the money to come here because that's what it's all about. And it really takes a grand effort to make it all work.
Yeah, because you even have the husband, and on a serious note, like you even have the husband who gives you the freedom to do all these things.
Mm.
That's a big one. I mean, I'm
That
not married for a reason, but
Yeah, no,
it's
it was
huge.
battle at first, and
It
now
was?
I actually like the time I'm free. Like he gets it. Yeah. At first, he's like, "Why do you want to go?" And I was like, "I just want to do stuff."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and you like to do stuff. You like to play Call of Duty all night long. You probably like you breathing down your shoulders.
But seriously, you have the right. And then you take your son with you on these road trips from LA to Utah. You take him by yourself on a road trip from LA to Utah, and he's equipped to do that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like you were given the child who is equipped to just, okay, I'm excited. Let's go on this road trip. He's not melting down and he's not giving you such a hard time. I mean, he's just hyper. That's just what kids do.
Yeah, it takes a lot of lollipops, a lot of bribes, but we make that road trip work.
But it's what I'm saying. Like life gave you the right equipment to make all these things happen. You know?
life. And again, God is so good. I'm so grateful that I met you, Lynn. You brought your son to come do the freaking show
I
on Road
know.
Trip. That was crazy.
Girl, we're about to tell these stories. I'm about to tell people how I had to bring my son out to Utah because I
he
can't
was
afford to
asking,
just leave him at home. Huh?
he was asking, do we live here now?
He was. He still talks about it, the lodge. He still talks about the
I
lodge.
love it.
And Auntie Val, he still
Oh,
knows.
I love it.
So, what is your overall tip for people, for newer comics who want to do stand up or want to? I know you already talked about producing, but who want to just be in this comedy world? What's your advice?
Honestly, Lynn, I do believe there's a comedic disposition in
Hmm.
people, and it is a certain type of personality. And if you really feel like you've got that in you, then you deserve to explore that and go 100% and really try to hit a bullseye. Really, truly give it 100%. You know, don't just like, oh, I can make people laugh at a dinner party. Like, no.
That is not stand up. I just want everybody to know.
Can we please clarify on the Linson show right here, right now? You might be funny, but please, like, if you're coming at this, come correct. Stand up is you've crafted jokes, you know what you're gonna say, and you've got it tight, beginning, middle, and end. You know where you're going, you know where you're pivoting in and out of it, and really arc those sets, you know? Do that good 1 minute audition for NBC, or that 3 minute when you're first starting out, or that tight 5 that you traditionally need to have, and then that 7, and then that 10, then that 15, then that 20, then that 25. So you really get an hour. Like, how committed are you to this
Yeah.
thing? You know what I mean? Like, where do you end? What are your goals? You can't just pooey out when you just do one bad mic. You know what I mean? Like, you really just have to get through that. And like, what are your goals? Do you want to meet people? Like, for me, comedy's been the coolest thing because like there was a part in my life, like 20s, right? You just
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm coming up, and then 30s like plateau. And I'm like, I am not meeting any new people. And then I
Mm.
started doing stand up, and I'm like
Oh,
meeting
yeah.
all these amazing people who are outgoing. Even if they're introverted, they care enough to tell about their lives, and not only like share their lives and be vulnerable about them, but like to be funny. And that is a really unique thing to even have the motivation to do.
Hmm.
So don't get caught up in the worldly views of like, you know, just the material, trifling things. Like, just go in there to say what you need to say and like
Yeah.
really think like, what is my message? What am I telling people with this joke? And like, what am I trying to say? Because you get the spotlight, you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
you should covet and like cherish that spotlight, like the many people who have cherished it before you, or maybe some people who inspire you to take that spotlight. Like, you should really treat it like it's that moment and that opportunity, and really
Yeah.
give it 100%.
For sure. And
Yeah.
remember, like, say what you got to say, but craft your jokes.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
some people are like, say what you got to say. I'm just going to say whatever. And it's like not funny. You're like, what are you doing?
Well, Rim too. You know, you've got
Yeah.
to know the rules before you
Yeah.
break the rules. And I think just one baseline rule is like that scale of your setup and punch. You
Hmm.
can't just tell me all this
All is
shit.
set up and no punch.
But then when it is, I'm like, wait, was that the punch? It should be funnier for all that build up.
For all that. Yeah. I
For
didn't
all
get a
that build
payoff
up.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you were talking about the spotlight, because it's crazy because you're standing up there, you're by yourself, you have no one else to depend on. If you bomb by yourself. If
Oh
you
yeah.
kill by yourself. And the crazy thing is, everybody is actually paying attention to you.
They
Like,
are.
they're really watching you, going, "Oh, what are you gonna say next?" And I respect the audience so much. Like,
You
I'm
have to.
I'm too new to be like, let me just try new stuff in front of a real audience, only because I'm not a riffer. I don't rant and riff and it'd be funny. So for me, it's like the audience spent their time and money to sit there, and they could be doing anything else, but they're here watching me. So I better bring it.
And that matters, Lynn. That matters for every comedian. Every performance could be that extra person buying a ticket to the next show.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Or that producer or the TV exec or whoever.
Yeah.
Or
Exactly.
even someone that just says, "Hey, I'm going to do a house party. I'll pay you $500 to do 15 minutes." You're like, well, there you go. You just never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah, maybe you could give me that contact of the 15 minutes. Okay, that is great money for 15 minutes.
Girl, corporate shows.
I
You
like
do
it.
clean comedy. Corporate shows pay well.
I like it. Are you bringing your hand job
Ooh,
joke
no,
there? Or
you don't get to do that during your corporate. I've only done one corporate show, but there was
serious?
definitely no hand job jokes. Your comedy is clean anyway
Yeah.
to
Do you
begin
think
with.
my drug jokes could be considered clean? I'm only in my head about these things.
Drug jokes? Is it graphic? Are you talking about sniffing cocaine and
No, I'm talking about this commercial that was like, oh,
oh, that those jokes. That's not dirty.
yeah. Just have to clarify that with the producer.
Because they're always saying that you can insinuate and you can talk, but you just don't want to go blue, right? You just don't want to be ratchet.
I mean, heroin in your veins, right? That's
You,
not funny.
which is what I'm super proud of because I used to do hand jobs, but my jokes about them are not ratchet.
No,
I don't
they're
go in that
classy.
direction.
They're
Hmm.
really classy.
I mean, classy for what it is. They're classy hand jobs,
They're classy.
like a classy stripper and a
There is such a thing.
but I also wanted to say before we go that I saw Val in her first ever stand-up class. We were in class together. I saw you when you were just a newborn talking about dare.
Yeah, that was my first
That was
bit.
her first fight, talking about dare, keep kids off drugs and these
Yeah,
commercials and stuff. I remember those.
Lynn.
Good for you, Val. You're doing it. You are your own big break for real.
Good for you, Lynn. Can I just bear my testimony how grateful I am
Yeah,
from those
sure.
baby days stand-up comedy class at Dow Comedy Studio to
Yeah.
taking the stage at Electric Comedy Night and the Lynn Sun TV show? We're gonna look back on this and remember when.
Yeah. Remember when? It'll be a whole different book from Bitch Needs Jesus. Bitch Needs
And Lynn,
Jesus.
your book, could you please?
It's coming out, girl. It's coming out this month. It's so crazy. It's so nerve wracking because writing is fucking difficult.
It
Writing
is.
is hard.
It
And then
is.
your brain has to switch from, okay, writing for stand up to writing a book. It's very different, right?
I
When you say,
know. I would say I'm used to the short-term gratification.
yeah,
Problem. Writing a book, I'm like, I need to revise it, edit that shit out that made my family mad, but I haven't been able to look at it. I just thought I was done.
and how does your husband feel about everything? He's
Oh,
proud of you. He's what's
good. So his Auntie Carol, who's such a gossip girl, she shout out to Auntie Carol if you see this, I know, but she told Gail, his mom, that she's like, I read Valerie's whole book. And his mom was like, yeah. And then that was that because she told my husband, Auntie Carol read Valerie's book. And he's like, Mom, I don't want to talk about it. And I was like, good. He shut that shit down in the name of the Lord because we're not gossiping in this home. But yeah, there's nothing in it that would make him feel bad. You know what I mean? And like,
But I mean, is he happy? Is he proud of you? What is he, you know?
yeah, he's proud.
Aw.
He's proud. Not like he took me out to dinner or anything, and not like he like bought me flowers or anything, but he's proud.
He's like, I have a job. This is
Yeah, that's it. It
he's
really
like
is.
no, but
Yeah.
I mean, but are you guys that kind of couple though, where you go out to dinner a lot? Is he romantic?
Gosh, to
Or
be
is he not
honest,
really romantic? I mean, that's fine if he isn't.
on a scale of 1 to 10, he's a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's young. He'll learn.
He's young, but as you asked me that question, I'm putting myself in his position. I'm like, am I romantic?
Are you?
Am I planning any things? Because I
Do
was
you
like,
give
yeah,
him bubble baths? Do you surprise him with lingerie? Do you
sometimes.
know? Ooh. You know what I mean? Are you a romantic type? Some people aren't. People
I
aren't.
I could do more. Honestly, I really could.
It's fine. You're 31. Make your money now. You'll have the rest of your life to do lingerie and bubble baths.
Thank you,
You know
Lynn.
what I mean?
Bubble bath. I could whip something up tonight, you know? I made a great dinner last night. I cooked for
Aw.
the first time in a month, so It's yeah, like we're so busy. It's no excuse, but we do get some time to bond, and it's nice.
Oh, again, you're young. You guys are still young. You have the rest of your lives. You know, right now you're getting in that $50 million electric comedy
That's right,
business
Lynn.
venture. You got to give up some stuff.
It's a sacrifice, but yeah, we got to go because I put that on a 3 to 5 year timeline. I've seen some startup companies come in, they just make quality, consistent content, and then they get swooped up.
Yeah.
Like Crunchyroll and HBO or like Brat Entertainment with whoever swooped them up. They were just making some Generation Z content. Nothing too entertaining, but just,
But they're
like
just consistent.
they were just consistent. They grew 1 million followers and then they got acquired for 50 million. So that's what has me. I've decided,
That's what's making you excited.
yeah, I won't settle for anything less because I know all we have to do is quality, consistent content and really get those sponsorships and that advertising. Because anybody, like, for example, Complex Magazine, Hot Ones, sponsored by Pepto Bismol. Because you're
Mhm.
going to need some shit for your stomach after you eat these hot wings.
You're such a
Smart.
business person.
That's just me watching other people and being like, that works for me.
Well, yeah, because you're business minded. Like I'd watch that stuff and wouldn't think for of like even a quarter of what you're thinking. That stuff doesn't come naturally to me. Like it comes naturally to you.
Well, Lynn, as a consumer, I love to consume. You know what I mean? I'm consuming it all: magazines, TV, music, stand up,
Yeah.
movies, everything. And I'm just like, what's the message here? And is it effective? Did it reach me like you intended it to be delivered? So
Oh yeah, you get deep about this.
I do.
I'm just watching it like, ooh, I got feelings about this. This is good.
Oh,
Good for
man.
you. All right. So any last words for people that are listening or watching, any of your fans, your friends?
My friends, my fans, thank you. I appreciate my one friend fan.
To my-
Really, no, thank you.
what do you want to say to your parents? Anything in case they watch?
Oh, mom and dad, I love you so much. Thank you for sacrificing your life to give birth to me. I didn't know it was such a sacrifice till I gave birth to somebody.
Yeah.
And, like, wow, thank you. And I promise I'll edit that book. I already edited out the questionable things you said, but I'll add a little more finesse to the family, a little more grace to the dynasty. And if you want to keep up with my life, follow me, Val DOUROUX, on Instagram.
Yes, me. I could talk to you forever, Val.
I can talk to you
Dude,
forever.
like there's
Yeah.
things that keep coming up for me that like I remember about you. Oh, I was gonna say to have even one person read your whole book
Yeah.
is an accomplishment, dude. Like they read the whole thing. Like I wouldn't be surprised if people just skip through stuff, but my book is not like yours where it's like a life story.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if people just jump back and forth in chapters. But
Yeah.
for someone to say, Val, I read your whole book, or for your dad to have feelings about it, for that's listen,
Hey.
congratulations.
Hey. Thank you. And congratulations to you too, Lynn. I'm really proud of you.
Aw, is anything else? If not, I'm gonna stop recording. Thank you so much for spending time.
Hey, I have a book. Lynn has a book. Check my book out on valdero.com and go
Mhm.
support my girl, Lynn. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Valdero.com. Follow her, follow Electric Comedy. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn.